All right, folks, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the wonderfully weird and wildly talented world of Margaret Qualley. If you don't know her yet, first of all, shame on you, but don't worry, I'm here to fix that with 5 minutes of highly curated, highly caffeinated fangirling. Now, who exactly is Margaret Qualley, you ask? Well, picture this. She's the kind of person who can go from dancing like a possessed marionette in a Kenzo perfume commercial to washing dishes with Oscar-level intensity in Maid. I mean, how often do you see someone who can flawlessly pull off both high fashion witchcraft and relatable broke single mom energy? Look at her. Yep, that's range, my friend. She's like a Swiss Army knife of acting, only sharper, fancier, and occasionally more confused about where she left her metaphorical blade. Margaret Qualley is what happens when quirky charm and serious talent collide at 90 miles an hour and somehow don't explode. You see that? Even when she's awkward, she's still cooler than I'll ever be on my best day. It's like she's saying, yeah, I can win over Brad Pitt with a grin in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I'm also just a goofball who sometimes trips over her own feet. And honestly, that's not just talent, that's a vibe. Margaret has this ability to look like she's in on a cosmic joke that the rest of us aren't quite smart enough to get yet. Like, she could stare straight into the camera, do absolutely nothing, and you'd still be captivated. What sorcery is this? You know what makes her even more interesting? She's not just another pretty face. Nope, this woman can act, she can dance, and she's somehow effortlessly weird in a way that makes you want to hang out with her. Ever seen her dance routine from the Kenzo ad directed by Spike Jonze? If not, do yourself a favor and Google it later. She moves like she's possessed by a chaotic spirit that just discovered how to groove. And let me tell you, it's glorious. Right now, you're probably wondering, wait, is she famous because of her acting or because she's Andie MacDowell's daughter? Pause for comedic timing, to which I say, yes. I mean, sure, having an iconic actress for mom doesn't hurt. But let's face it, nepotism only gets you so far. You still have to prove you're worth watching. And Margaret? Oh, she's not just worth watching. She's worth pausing, rewinding, and watching all over again. See what I mean? Even that slow smile deserves its own Oscar. Someone call the Academy. This is art. She also has the rare gift of making dorky look cool. Like how? I've been trying to pull off quirky cool my whole life, and all I got was weird looks at parties. And here's the kicker. Margaret has a career trajectory that reads like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but with every page leading to, yeah, that worked out perfectly. Hollywood ingenue in Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Check. Gritty, heart-wrenching single mom and maid? Check. Literary dreamer in My Salinger Year? Double check. She's basically Hollywood's equivalent of, oh, I wasn't even trying, but okay. And before you start thinking, wow, she must be too cool for regular human problems, let me remind you, Margaret Qualley is relatable. She's the kind of person who can walk a red carpet in Chanel, but deep down, you know she's the same person who probably eats cereal straight out of the box while watching The Office reruns. She's not just living her best life, she's somehow living your best life, too. So, why are we here today? To celebrate the woman, the myth, the enigma that is Margaret Qualley, and to have a little fun while doing it. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to dive into her most iconic roles, unpack her secret to effortless charm, and, of course, sprinkle in some snarky commentary along the way. Ready? Let's roll. And don't worry, there will be plenty of Margaret dancing to keep you entertained. All right, let's kick things off with Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, when you hear Tarantino, you know two things. One, someone's gonna die in a stylish way, and two, the soundtrack will slap. But here's the twist. Margaret Qualley somehow manages to outshine both the music and the mayhem. Yeah, you heard me. In a movie with Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Manson cult vibes, it's Margaret who steals the show. Look at that smile, playful, a little mysterious, and just a touch too comfortable for someone who hangs out with a murder cult. She's the kind of girl you meet and immediately think, she's cool, but am I about to end up in a Netflix true crime doc? And you can tell Brad Pitt is thinking the same thing. He's like, Girl, you are way too happy about living on a ranch with Charles Manson wannabes. But here's the thing, Margaret's performance isn't just about being charming. It's layered. On the surface, she's this free-spirited hippie who's all smiles and bare feet. But beneath that, there's an unsettling energy, like she's one bad day away from becoming a villain in a psychological thriller. And when she casually waves Brad off barefoot, of course, you're left thinking, yep, that's it. That's exactly how cool people say goodbye. Meanwhile, I say goodbye like an awkward penguin. Even Brad Pitt's like, I've fought Nazis and assassins, but this girl is dangerous. Margaret nails that perfect mix of innocent and eerie, making you wonder, should I trust her or run? And honestly, that's the magic of her performance. She leaves you questioning everything, including your own judgment. Now let's pivot from Tarantino's glamorous chaos to Maid, where Margaret proves she's not just a star, she's the whole damn galaxy. In this Netflix drama, she plays Alex, a young mom struggling to escape an abusive relationship while trying to clean her way to a better life. And I'm just gonna say it, Margaret makes scrubbing toilets look emotionally profound. Like, how is that even possible? Look at her. That's not just cleaning, that's acting. You can feel the weight of every broken dream with every mop stroke. Meanwhile, the last time I tried to mop my floor, I ended up slipping on the water and lying there for 20 minutes, contemplating life. This role is heavy, and Margaret brings the kind of emotional depth that makes you want to hug your mom and maybe text your therapist. It's raw, it's real, and somehow she makes it look effortless. But don't be fooled. Crying on command while also pretending to love scrubbing bathtubs? That's elite-level acting. And just when you think it's all doom and gloom, Margaret sneaks in these little moments of joy, like her dancing with her kid in the middle of their tiny apartment. Honestly, that's what makes her so relatable. Life is messy, but she still finds room to dance. Watching her in Maid is like watching your friend survive life's worst curveballs, and you're just sitting there like, you're doing amazing, sweetie. But seriously, Margaret's performance isn't just about hardship. It's about resilience. And trust me, if you don't get a little teary watching her journey, you're either lying or you're secretly a robot. Let's talk about Margaret Qualley's wild, body-swapping adventure in The Substance. Imagine a sci-fi version of Freaky Friday, but cranked up to 11 with an existential twist and dripping with unsettling body horror. Directed by Coralie Fargeet, who brought us Revenge, this film is no ordinary drama. It's equal parts grotesque spectacle and social commentary on beauty standards, and Qualley's role is the chaotic heart of it all. Qualley plays Sue, a younger clone-like version of an aging TV star, played by Demi Moore, created by a mysterious injectable substance. But here's the twist. These two women share a body on alternate weeks. Think of it like a human timeshare gone horribly wrong. And boy, does Qualley nail the complexity of playing someone who's both fresh and fractured. Sue is radiant, embodying a seductive allure that the industry celebrates, but with a hint of desperation to hold onto the spotlight. It's the kind of performance that blurs the line between innocence and manipulation, a mix of charm and danger. What makes her portrayal so compelling is the way Qualley shifts gears between playful naivety and chilling detachment. One moment, she's the perfect ingenue basking in newfound fame, and the next, she's a cunning doppelganger who doesn't want to relinquish control. Her presence in front of the camera feels hypnotic, qualitatively raw but polished, both endearing and unsettling. Qualley's performance hints at the emotional fragmentation that comes from being idealized for youth and beauty. There's a subtle but clear message. The pressure to stay perfect doesn't just consume people, it turns them into something monstrous. This role might just mark a defining moment in Qualley's career. It pushes her boundaries as an actress, testing her ability to oscillate between vulnerability and dominance seamlessly. Critics have praised the chemistry between her and Moore, noting how it elevates the entire film to something both comical and tragic. Their interactions play out like a twisted tango. Qualley represents not just a younger version of Moore's character, but a potential future, one that's both tantalizing and terrifying. And let's be honest, Watching Qualley thrive in this nightmarish scenario is weirdly cathartic. It feels like a satire of Hollywood itself, a brutal industry where youth is currency and aging is a crime. This is the kind of role that might earn her cult favorite status, especially among fans of psychological thrillers and body horror. She's not just acting, she's embodying the metaphor of beauty as a prison, and she's doing it with flair and ferocity. If you weren't already a fan of Qualley, this movie might just seal the deal. Well, folks, we've reached the grand finale of our Margaret Qualley appreciation spectacle. We've danced with cults, scrubbed toilets, lived through literary angst, and stared deep into the dark, sci-fi weirdness of the substance. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that Margaret Qualley is like a cinematic chameleon. One minute she's carefree and quirky, the next she's delivering gut-wrenching emotional depth. It's like she's got an acting cheat code, and we're all here just trying to keep up. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if she showed up in the next Avengers movie as both the hero and the villain. Marvel, take notes. We're on to something here. Now, here's the thing. Margaret's acting isn't just about hitting emotional beats. It's about embodying stories in ways that are unexpected and unforgettable. Whether she's playing an emotionally broken maid or a clone sharing a body with Demi Moore, she brings something uniquely Margaret to each role. She's not afraid to dive into weird territory, the substance being exhibited, and honestly, isn't that what makes her so magnetic? She keeps us on our toes. You think you know where the story's going, then BAM. She flips the whole narrative on its head. Even if she made a movie called Breakfast Adventures, you just know she'd bring Oscar-worthy energy to every spoonful. This isn't just cereal, she'd whisper dramatically. It's an existential crisis. And we'd all be sitting there, glued to the screen, wondering if we've been eating cereal wrong our whole lives. So, what's next for our queen of unpredictability? Maybe she'll star in an offbeat rom-com where she falls in love with a time traveler stuck in the 90s. Or better yet, how about a musical? Can you imagine her in a Broadway-inspired jazz number? Margaret in tap shoes. The internet wouldn't survive. Jokes aside, Margaret's versatility is what sets her apart in a world full of typecasts. She's not afraid to challenge herself, and as an audience, that's a gift. Whether she's making us laugh, cry, or question reality, she's always 100% in, and that's why we love her. See? It's not just us. Everyone knows Margaret's got that magic. She's like the human version of an indie film. Quirky, soulful, and guaranteed to make you feel something, even if you're not entirely sure what. So, here's to Margaret Qualley, our fearless, talented, wonderfully unpredictable star. Whether she's dancing barefoot on Hollywood Boulevard, wiping down counters, or merging souls with Demi Moore, she's giving us performances that stay with us long after the credits roll. If you're not already on the Margaret Qualley train, now's your chance to hop on. Trust me, it's gonna be one heck of a ride. And with that, we bid adieu. But don't worry, Margaret will be back soon, probably playing a character that's even more mind-blowing than the last. Because when it comes to Margaret Qualley, the only thing you can expect is the unexpected.